financial markets, cryptocurrency, gold and silver, world news.
Fair to say you simply flooded the system with money.
Yes, we did. That's another way to think about it. We did.
Where does it come from? Do you just print it?
We print it digitally, and we do that by buying treasury bills. That actually increases the money supply.
Financial turmoil explained.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. I'm glad to have you guys here on this this Wednesday, the 6th of April, 2022. Thank you for tuning in, and we're going to get started. And what we're going to talk about, listen, it's here. I've been waiting for it for ages, but it's here now. Now, about last year, a lot of the time last year, I was talking about how the Fed would start to tighten too much, and they'd go a little bit too far, and the markets will start to turn over, and we start to go into a recession. That's what they're going to do in the next few months. It took a little bit longer than I expected to actually get here. But then on the other side of this, I talked about there's going to be a turnaround. So first we're going to go through quantitative tightening, and we're going to go through balance sheet reduction, and we're going to go through them raising rates. And then they're going to go a little bit too far. They're going to push everything into a recession, and then they're going to have to change face and turn around the other way. They're not going to get rid of inflation either. Inflation's here. It's here to stay. Prices are going to continue to increase, especially in food. You guys know that we're actually facing food shortages. You can't believe it. Around the world, here in America, here in the United States, here in Canada, we're going to be facing food shortages. Can you imagine? We're not talking about third world. I mean, all the time I was growing up, they were always having some sort of food shortage in Africa. This is coming home to roost, guys. Let's get in there and let's open up the charts right here. And let's take a look at what's going on. Okay, hit the record button. Time delay. There, well, wait. There we go. I should be recording. This computer's a little bit slow. Stick with me, guys. I just got to make sure that it's going. There. Now we're recording. Okay. Let's get on this article here. Let's pull the page up. Take a look. Lawmakers are scrambling to avert global food shortage. Leaders around the world are preparing solutions to the problem of an expected global food shortage that may only get worse in the days ahead. Yeah, well, first off, looking at Ukraine produces a tremendous amount of grain. And, they're actually talking about a 50% probably reduction or more. I think they're being conservative in the amount of reduction in the global food supply, and part of it coming from Ukraine. Ukraine and Russia together produce like 30% of the global wheat supply. We're talking about big numbers here. And yeah, maybe in North America here, maybe in the United Kingdom, maybe in Canada, we might be seeing prices go up significantly. But in other places, there's just not going to be any. Let's see what it says here. It says Ukraine is a major wheat producer, and its fight against Russia invaders has threatened to strangle the crucial export businesses that feed millions of people worldwide. Along with Russia, they're considered the breadbasket of Europe. Ukraine and its neighbor producers produce more than a quarter of the wheat supply for the entire world. The ramifications of this, when we entered into this period where we're at war, is going to start to strike home, and at the same time we're in for a recession. And also at the same time, what we got coming is food shortages, food prices going up, prices on almost everything going up. We're still not finished with this virus. Things are moving so fast right now. Let's take a look at an article by Peter Schiff. Peter Schiff says that America is heading for stagflation. He says, people seem to think that tighter monetary policy will bring on a recession, and they believe it will solve the inflation problem. Peter Schiff explains why they've only got it half right. We are headed toward a recession. And I'm saying the same thing, guys. We're headed toward a recession. But it's not going to solve the inflation problem, according to Peter Schiff, and I happen to agree with him. And so what does that mean? The worst of both worlds, stagflation. Let's get in there and take a look at the prices of things today in the markets. We're seeing the silver prices up 13 cents today so far at 24.42. This is still a huge buying opportunity because when the Fed changes policy from what it is right now, where they're fighting inflation, to where they bring on this recession, and then they realize that they have to go back on these policies instead of quantitative tightening, back to quantitative easing, and they have to start reducing possibly controlling the yield curve by bringing rates down again. Then we're going to see the massive inflation that's already here expand and grow into a hyperinflation ultimately, which is basically theft of your money that's in the bank. They're basically stealing it without really stealing it because they're making it valueless. Doesn't matter if it's your money in the bank, doesn't matter if it's a pension or annuity that you have, it doesn't matter just exactly what source of money. That money is going to purchase less and less and less. And it's going to purchase less at an ever-quickening pace moving into the future. But what's going to happen is the precious metals here, they have not popped in price yet. They haven't moved much, really. They're barely staying up with inflation. They're not really even staying up with inflation. We're down near mining production cost at this point. So these are still a very, very good value for your money and a safe place to put your money to protect you against inflation, because at a certain point, these metals are going to move up in price tremendously fast. And you got to keep that in mind. So we're looking at a silver price today at $24.46, and we're looking at a gold price today of up $6.40 at $19.29. Still amazingly low in price, and that's because the LBMA is controlling the price still. Not completely, though, because Russia is starting to take a hand here in this, in the setting of the price of these metals. They're trying to put a floor under the price of the metals at set at 5,000 rubles, the Russians, per gram of gold. Okay, cryptocurrency today. Now, crypto's seen a little drop today. We're looking at a Bitcoin price of 44,903. It's dropped from yesterday. It was running around 46,000. So it's dropped a little bit more than $1,000. But it's probably only a temporary thing right now. I don't really expect it to drop too much more right in the short term. Let's take a look now at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And it's down 257 points on what the Fed's doing. Fed's Brainerd, normally very dovish. Right now, Brainerd has turned hawkish, extremely hawkish. And the Fed the markets are reacting to this. And we see in a down today of 257 points down on the Dow. Let's take a look now at crude oil at $102, and it's up 41 cents. And now let's take a look at the MOVE index. MOVE index is $116.37. That's it's had two peaks were formed, and right now it looks like it's starting to go into another peak. But they're not going to really react to it, I don't think, until it actually gets over 150. And so we're at 116 today. Now, this is our window into the credit markets. We're keeping our eye on the credit markets and volatility within the credit markets. Let's look at bonds. This could get scary if these bonds get too high, and they are starting to get rather high. You're looking at a 10-year at 2.62. And we're looking at a 30-year at 2.66, and we're looking at rising yields on the long end today. I mean, the 10-year is up, 6.8 basis points, and the 30 years up 7.8 basis points. It's a rather large moves to the upside on bond yields. Now, what this is going to do is, and this is where we're at right now, is mortgage rates. Right now, we're cresting and going above that 5% line. And this is going to really cool off the housing market really fast right now. That's what's going to happen right now. The housing market's going to start to cool down rather rapidly. So we're keeping our eye on that. Let's take a look now at the U.S. dollar index. And we're looking at 99.47 now in the U.S. dollar index. So, I mean, things are moving very rapidly now that we're at war. Now that war has begun in the world. And I'm going to tell you guys, it's all ever needed right now. You guys need to start thinking about preparations for these food shortages. Any food that you buy now, especially meat products, you know, like maybe hamburger, if you got a freezer, think about putting some hamburger away for yourself, because you're going to see that the price is probably going to double. Put it away in the freezer. Only what you can eat, though. You know, I mean, don't go crazy, and you know, because it can spoil too if we get a power outage. You got to think about that, you know. But a lot of other things like canned goods could see the price double in the next few months, and you'll be glad for the ones that you bought, especially if you know how to rotate canned goods, and especially if you're buying foods that you're going to consume anyway, you're going to eat. Want to have a bit of bottled water put away for yourself. You never know when you're going to have a power outage and your water supply is going to get cut off. People out there that, like yesterday, I was talking on my show about agriculture. Let me just stop these charts real quick. Yesterday, I was talking about agriculture, you know, how that there's a move being made to, for farmers. They're going to have huge price increases. It's going to, the people who organically produce food are not affected so much by the shortages of and the price increases, like on diesel fuel and things like fertilizer. And so the ones that do use the chemical farmers, people that use chemicals and stuff to farm, and chemical fertilizers and stuff to farm, they're going to have to add those price increases onto the consumer. This is going to be a bit of a boom for organic farmers, and this is going to allow them to have a higher profit ratio than the chemical farmers, and this is going to yield somewhat of a change in farming. And I was talking about this yesterday on my show, and this is a very important point, that there was a large move away from organic farming back like in the 1930s and 1940s. But now I see a moving back towards smaller farms and organic type farms coming. And a lot of this is going to be caused by the food shortages and the raise in the cost of energy, and also the raise in the price of fertilizers and stuff. And it's not hitting them near as hard, the organic farmers, and they're getting a higher profit ratio than they used to have as crude prices go up and up. And you're going to have to take that into consideration. Maybe that's a good thing, that our food is produced more organically. It would be healthier for us. The food has more nutrients and more nutrient rich. We're living in a world now where there's so many diseases out there. Everything that we can get that helps our health is going to be a good thing. So anyway, thank you guys for listening to my show. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the very next episode. Bye-bye.